With the Aviath soldiers defeated and the money safely in hand, I believed it to be clear skies. And yet, some clouds still darken Sir Soupstock's brow.
Man, I can't even do my job without somebody holding my hand. Maybe I just ain't cut out for this, yeah?
Apparently, even his own officers afforded him little respect. However, I saw in his earnest eyes and noble bearing that he had the makings of a great leader. Alas, we cannot view ourselves but by outward reflection, which often dims our inner value. You were given high office, Sir Soupstock. Does that not mean someone sees in you true worthiness, though you yourself may be blind to it? You must polish yourself until the quality of your character shines forth for all the world to behold. If you remain forever pure and forever righteous, then surely those around you will be attracted by your light. The lad lent me an attentive ear. But my words were not enough to blow the clouds of doubt from his face.
I mean, just take a look at how our city's split. You've got Golden Oaks, where the nobles and elite dwell, and the rest of us tucked away in Copper Square, which is, let's face it, a slum.
He continued.
Those wide-eyed beliefs of yours wouldn't last 2 seconds among the dirt and smoke of Copper Square. I wish I could be the person you say I am, but...
Biting his lip, Sir Soupstock shook his head and fell silent. A few days later, Sir Soupstock asked me to meet with him again. In a cozy Seed Hollow tavern, he told me he'd investigated our erstwhile friend, the nobleman. It seemed the scoundrel was now prancing about the city, spreading lies and slander about the family Zothba. Sir Soupstock hoped to make his own rounds and mend what damage he could. But, fearing yet another ambush from Avia, he hoped I would accompany him as his guard. His own staff, infuriated by the nobleman's dastardly doings, were foaming at the mouth and mad for a fight. However, the level-minded Sir Soupstock knew that stooping to bloody violence would only further stain their image.
I've gone through his dirty linen, and believe me, there's a lot of filth. I'd leak it now, but with these rumors floating around, I don't know if anybody'd believe me.
Never one to stand for such injustice, I began cudgeling my brain for a solution. We began to meet with people in the street, contradicting the libel and restoring faith in the family Zothba. I learned that a good informant is well known and well trusted, and, according to his own officers, no one in Seed Hollow was better liked than Sir Soupstock. Though his mannerisms savored, admittedly, of a brute, at his core he was as sweet and pure as any lily. It was little wonder the denizens of Seed Hollow were fond of him. As we exchanged more words and tidbits of information, a picture began to form of the nobleman's intentions. He was not acting, it seemed, solely from a place of vengeance. The churl desired to build his own network of informants, using the remnants of the Church of Avia. Furthermore, in his lust for wealth, he was terrorizing the good people of Copper Square and compelling services from them. Thus, the family Zothba, who kept peace in the district, was to him a bother and a nuisance. It was likely he craved their banishment. Now, fully apprised of the situation, Sir Soupstock told me of his intention to once again meet face to face with the crafty villain. training was effective. To better oneself is a daily adventure. We called upon the nobleman, who, as before, had found himself a lofty place to stand, no doubt to compensate for his lowness of character. Sir Soupstock stepped bravely forth and spoke thus.
Listen, punk. We know you've been kidnapping people and using them for forced labor, which is, FYI, illegal. I've also got proof that all the money from that phony charity of yours is being used to hire Aviath soldiers.
And?
The nobleman showed no sign of discomposure. Not one hair on his well-groomed head stirred. And yet, Sir Soupstock, bless his valiant soul, refused to back down.
Once this information gets out, you can kiss your fancy-ass titles goodbye.
Oh, but it's not going to get out. You see, that's why I've threaded together my lovely little network. Those rumors I circulated? Merely the opening act. I've got the soldiers now, and come next week, it's curtains for the family Zoth.
The nobleman showed his teeth in a glacial grin.
So you want all-out war? But why?
Sir Soupstock stared back, fuming.
Well, I suppose there's no harm in revealing my master plan here. Dead men tell no tales, and all that.
In the nobleman's eyes, coins from his charity were trickling toward a worthy cause, the subjugation of Copper Square. Putting the people there to work, he said, would do wonders for Seed Hollow's economy.
Can't you see? I'm taking rubbish and forming it into something useful. You and all you Zothba toadies are standing in the way of progress!
With that, the nobleman pointed an accusing finger at us.
These interlopers mean to hinder the mission of the church. Destroy them.
At the sound of his voice, Aviath soldiers sprung from the shadows and hemmed us in. Stand down, Sir Soupstock! I shall teach them a lesson they won't soon forget! Here was a knave that would exploit the weak for his own profit. If I failed to make him repent his crimes, 'twould be a stain on the name of the Lumiel Order!
Fall, so that our church may rise again.
I shall never fall to wickedness!
Good? Evil? It's all relative. It's the winners who write history, after all.
Then let us see who fights for the stronger cause!
You're a tenacious little flea, I'll give you that. But this time, I brought my most ruthless warriors.
Violence and fear. Do you want this to be your legacy?
At least I shall have a legacy.
Discard the kitty!
What? You can't even kill a little girl? Fools! Worthless pigs!
Get out, dirt! Speak to your comrades like that! You're the only pig here!
You're gonna see
Units advance! Destroy them! Destroy them!
Soon, you shall see that justice always prevails!
Impossible! How were all those soldiers defeated by a single girl?
Fortune favors the virtuous. That was a battle for the ages! A leader must earn the good graces of their followers through pure and righteous conduct. You cannot buy it with gold, nor command it with power or titles. But instead of lending an ear to my advice, the nobleman began running his mouth, stabbing his own soldiers in the back with sharp words.
I thought you Avia bunch were stronger. Pity. The whole damned lot of you aren't even worth a rupee. But don't think you've won, interlopers. I am still a member of the noblesse. Those copper square dogs would lick my shoes in return for a crumb of favor. You may celebrate for a day, but the ultimate triumph shall be mine!
You sure about that?
Sir Soupstock pulled a transceiver from his pocket.
Everything you've said to us, you've said to those copper square dogs. Face it, jackass. You're finished.
Voices of censure and indignation began to spill from the transceiver. As Sir Soupstock turned a dial, they magnified, filling all the air with rage.
It can't be.
Here and there, amongst the heated words, were cries of exultation and praise for the family Zatba. Thus, overcome by a raging sea of noise, the nobleman bowed his proud head and fell to his knees. Hello. Sir Soupstock and his staff expressed great admiration for my swordplay.
It's just mind-boggling, you know? You've probably trained harder than most of the best mercenaries out there.
His words raised the gate on a flood of memories, washing me back to a time when I was desperate to prove myself. Yes, it took hard training and much toil to come this far, but I would have collapsed by the wayside long ago if there hadn't been people who supported me on my path. I am where I am because of them. Now, I tried to pay their goodwill forward by helping others as they helped me.
So you never stopped trying to be the best version of yourself.
Sir Soupstock turned his eyes toward the heavens.
I wish I could be strong like you. I wish I had the guts to just go busting in through the front door, sword blazing and ready to dispense justice.
Hearing this, all of his officers raised their voices in protest.
But you are strong. You got it all, man. The brains, the chill, the network, and the integrity. You could search the whole sky and never find a better informant. We're proud to work for you.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Sir Zatba, who'd been watching from afar, made his way forward and clapped a hand on Sir Soupstock's shoulder.
You did good, Soupstock. Just like I knew you would.
Boss, it's an honor.
And that was the first time I ever saw Sir Soupstock give free rein to his emotions. When I visited Seed Hollow sometime later, I heard at the Knick-Knack Shack a certain rumor. Apparently, one of the officers of the family Zatba had taken up forever pure, forever righteous as his creed. Even his staff could be heard reciting the words.
The Justice Soup Gang, led by Mr. Mohawk, has been getting a lot of missions lately, and the family Zatba stocks are on the rise. Their soup stock, that is.
I glanced about me, and saw only faces as bright as the sun. And I knew in my heart that the warmth of those smiles did not derive from Lady Sierra Carte's rather pitiable jest.